Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
From a pure baseball standpoint, it doesn't need to be a guy. I mean, how often do you have the SEC Player of the Year, and you look at it and you're like, well, if he has a bad day, we got 7 other dudes that can roll, so we're fine. And I think they have that. And there's a lot of places where you look in a lineup and go, that guy's not going to beat us. Well, they got a lot of that guys that you don't want to beat you. And offensively, it creates a really hard matchup for anybody they're playing.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
Driving my son to school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, let's turn on the Chuck and Bo show.
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
So what does everybody think about this Notre Dame game starting at 11? Anybody? Thoughts?
Starting
Brave opinions
starting
this
at
morning?
11
o'clock. That's what I heard yesterday, 11 a.m., Notre Dame.
So what you're telling me is if that was today, that was game day, we'd be starting the pregame show right now.
Yeah, September 27th, 6:02, we'll be into ESPN Arkansas's pregame coverage.
Yeah, 5 hours from kickoff.
Yeah.
Welcome in.
Yeah.
5 hours from kickoff of the Arkansas-Notre Dame game, if this were the day that the game was to take place.
I think this idea of trying to sell people on 11 a.m. games are good. I don't think that's
Well,
gonna
I tried
fly.
it.
I did too.
I've tried it last year.
I saw Kirk Herbstreit at a quote yesterday about what a great thing it is.
Yeah,
and
new prime time.
You know, as I read his words, I thought, I've said the same thing, and they're both equally unbelievable. When you see it in print, you realize, man, that's really silly.
I said the same thing to myself this morning.
I did. That was my thoughts exactly.
It's funny. I have friends, and I have, types of friends, right? That some people send you a long text, you don't even read it.
Yeah.
You get those friends? We can use the term friends loosely. Then you have other friends who you think are pretty reasonable people, and they send you 14 texts in a row. Like it's like the shotgun of text coming off to the point where you think you're in a group text and you immediately leave the chat or mute it or whatever. Yeah. And one of my very good friends, a very well-rounded, intelligent, person. Shotgun text, 17 texts. Bam, 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 bam.
Wow.
And here's another reason, and here's another reason, and here's another reason. And there's a lot of F-bombs in there, and there's more reasons. And if Bart needs another reason to be pissed, here's another reason. And there's another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, and another, and I'm done now. And then, by the way, one more.
Yeah.
I mean, people are so pissed about the 11 a.m. kickoff with Notre Dame.
What are your thoughts, Bart?
Since we are now inside of 5 hours to
That's
kickoff.
right. We're less than 5 hours away from
5
kickoff
hours
now.
away from kickoff. Bart started this whole thing yesterday.
He did.
He said he had a lot of things to say today about the 11 a.m. kickoff with Notre Dame. So if you haven't heard, Arkansas and Notre Dame's game was announced. And it's going to be on ABC. Yeah. ESPN announced all their television windows yesterday for the season. So we now know when Arkansas is playing at least roundabout.
Right.
In more games than we did before. But Arkansas also has 3 flexes in their schedule, which means they could play at any time. But we also only have 2 guaranteed early games besides the Notre Dame game. So at most, you'll have 3 11 a.m. games this year. Last year they had...
That would be 25% of the schedule.
Last year they had 7.
Is that right?
I'm making that up.
Was it? I mean, it seemed like 7.
It felt like every game was a noon game. And so if you missed it, Notre Dame and Arkansas, they announced the game time, and it's September 27th.
Right.
At 11 a.m.
Right.
on ABC.
Less than 5 hours from now.
And so we can't even get to mid off season here, mid-summer, mid-preseason, whatever you want to call it. We can't even get, to SEC
Omaha
media
week.
Days. We can't even enjoy Omaha week. And you got to pee on us with this freaking 11 a.m. start time, Arkansas, Notre Dame. I mean, what a cold bucket of water.
It's everything that's wrong with college sports right now.
And here
Not
we
just
go.
college football.
No,
college sports.
It is.
Maybe even life in
This-
general.
It is.
This begs for us to go into.
It cries out. It cries out
into
for a
the
trip
other
to the
room,
Chevy or Fayetteville
through the
Situation
door,
Room.
through the hall, into the other room. Here's Bart Pullman in the Chevy Fayetteville Situation Room.
It's a load of crap. That's what it is.
There we go.
It's a load of crap. Like what are we doing here? Like this is the type of crap that you point to when you talk about like ESPN. I think is
how you're waking up
the,
this
the,
morning.
The,
Yeah.
the suits.
I love it.
The suits at ESPN are as guilty as where we are in college athletics today.
Just pause.
As anything.
Could you get some bacon? Like, can I get some bacon sound effects? I want to smell breakfast being cooked in the kitchen, Edward, as Bart is over here ranting.
Make
and
some
people
coffee.
maybe some coffee being
Yeah,
made.
nice
Can we
fresh
just
coffee.
get some, maybe,
Orange
how about we're in the hotel lobby breakfast? Just get some plates banging around.
Just
that sound.
envision
As-
Bart at the family table at breakfast ranting and
You
raving
just came down.
before his family.
You're at the Hampton Inn. You're going to the zoo this morning. Everybody's excited. We're in Omaha. We're going to the zoo. You get down early. There's two guys in the lobby eating the Hampton Inn breakfast, and it's Bart ranting about the 11 a.m. No, you know who's responsible? The friggin' suits at ESPN.
That's right.
Bart continues. I'm just trying to help people wake up. Okay, we're at breakfast. Go ahead.
Okay. Look, like this is everything that's wrong with college sport. I get it's just a kickoff time, right? It's just a kickoff time, but it represents everything that's screwed up about college sports today, and how we've gotten to the point where we are. This game, not in any lifetime should this be an 11 a.m. kickoff. Unless it's being played at Notre Dame and they don't have the lights on the stadium and have to play it during the day. But they fixed that and can play night games there now. Like, you're talking about the most storied program in college football is coming to play an SEC school, and you are going to kick that game off at 11 a.m. And here's who it sucks for. It sucks for the people who are coming from out of town, maybe Notre Dame fans coming to experience a game at an SEC stadium, and they're not going to get to experience what Razorback Stadium is really like. They're not going to get the whole game day atmosphere because it's at 11 a.m. and people don't have time to party all day before the game. Like, this is so stupid.
Why do you think it's happened?
I have no idea, Chuck.
Wow.
Look, I understand Alabama, Georgia. That's your primetime game that week. That's your primetime ABC. You have 37 channels. Find another nighttime spot for the game. Put it on ESPN or ESPN2 or the SEC Network or ESPN News. Hell, give it to another station. Give it to NBC or something. I don't care. Put the damn game on at night where it deserves to be.
It's 6:10. That's
This
less
is
than 5 hours.
4
from kickoff.
hours and 50 minutes
right.
from
This
kickoff.
is so
We're
stupid.
10 minutes into the pregame show
You-
on
you
September
have-
27th.
Look, like,
Give the game to another network.
I don't care what you
Put it on the
gotta do.
CW.
Yeah, like, I don't care what you got to do.
This is okay. This is on another level of making a point here.
Oh, wow.
This is on another level.
I
of
was
making
having a little trouble waking up.
Because-
I'm not going to lie, but not anymore.
Most rational,
Look.
logical arguments would understand that it's ESPN, ABC's game,
the suits'
and that
fault.
they paid
Right.
for it.
Correct.
And that they've got $1 billion whatever dollars in. They don't get Notre
Correct.
Dame very often because they're on NBC all the time.
So why
they want-
is one of the most watched programs in college football? Why are you not putting that game in prime time?
Well, I'll get to that, but
Why?
I'm just saying the level of argument here is.
Well,
I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm actually making a point for you. This level of argument is so strong and why it matters to fans that you're literally, and you know what the arrangement is of the networks. Bart literally is, I don't care. Give it to another.
Well-
if you can't responsibly, if you have too many games, If you have too many games, ESPN, too many good games. If you have too many, well, just give one back
We
to somebody
literally
else.
just-
different
We
network.
can put it on at a time where we can all enjoy
We
the game.
literally just saw this with baseball and the LSU game times for the Tennessee game times for the Super Regional.
Put it on
We
the CW.
just
I
saw
don't
this
care. But
happen.
play it at night.
There is
Like,
a
yeah,
revolt
the-
going on, in all
The
seriousness.
people don't understand.
There is a
scheduling.
revolt going on to a degree among college football fans about these 11 o'clock games. Ohio State fans are about to just like turn the game upside down by themselves. You know, they wanted to move that Texas game to a night game. Fox didn't want them to. Texas had the final call, and very smartly, Texas said, well, no, we're on the road. We're going to play at noon there, 11 here. Fans don't like this.
Here's the
and
problem.
the networks have tried to shove it down their throats, and the fans don't like it. There's not anything they can do about it.
So if you zoom out, here's the big issue. All right. We don't when interest no longer align, you have a problem.
That's right.
College football has a problem. We all of a sudden have gone from a game where we all just talk about games and players and whatever, right? All the time, but it's the most fun thing about college football is being able to talk about it and argue about it and who's better and whatever. We've gone from that to how much money can we make in college football?
And the networks are just as guilty.
And how much money? Not just as guilty. They're the reason.
Right. That's what I was saying. Like, they're the reason
that's where the
here.
money. That's where the money comes from. But college athletics opened its arms and said, "We'll do anything. We'll take our shirt off. We'll do the 3-legged race down Rodeo Drive. We don't care. How much money can we get?" So what we do? We started losing rivalry games. We started expansion. Started going into expanding conferences, games that used to mean something, games that were played forever. Who didn't get affected? The best of the best, the powerhouses, the people that have all the money. They didn't get affected. They still play the teams or rivals they want to play. We went from playing LSU on a Thursday on a Thanksgiving weekend, a great tradition.
A standalone game.
Could David Basil create a trophy and we could do something with Missouri? I mean, what is that? Missouri no longer plays Kansas. So here's my point. We have competing interests. So this is just a microcosm of one of these examples, because this is just one of these examples of this bigger issue, which is we're going to pay you all this money to put these games on television. But for us, having Notre Dame in that 11 a.m., noon for a lot of the world, noon, which is when they play NFL games, and we could talk about that, but we're not the NFL.
We're not in the Eastern time
and we're not
zone
trying
either.
to be the NFL, and we have a different tradition and different things that come with those traditions, and you're screwing it all up. Frankly, you are. But because it's an 11 a.m. slot, that's a premium slot, okay? And what I mean by that is you're going to get more eyeballs, they think, by playing that game at noon Eastern than competing with the other game that day, Georgia, Alabama, in that
problem.
other time slot. So even if you put it on another network in that time slot, they're losing eyeballs by not having their Notre Dame game, which they don't get many of, in a time where it's not competing with another great game.
But here's the thing.
That's why they did it.
Right. That's exactly right. Here's the thing.
But
fans don't care.
That's right.
Fans do not care.
That's not the same interest. The interests do not align with the fans.
But
and the
if
people
we're
playing
honest,
in the game,
if we're honest, we do like an 11 a.m. game to watch, and we kind of like it to be a good game.
100% right.
I got to admit,
that's true.
I want an 11 a.m. game to watch. I want it to be two good teams. I just don't really want my team to be one of those teams. But I'm with you. I'm with you because I was hoping this would, at the very least, be a late afternoon game.
Chuck, your point, though, it's another example. We want it all.
Well, yeah.
We want it all. We want players to be paid, but we don't know what all the consequences are. But we want it all. We want it. Just do it. Just do it. We'll figure it out. How'd that go?
We don't get a lot of marquee matchups, right? Marquee, like, big-time games in the non-conference schedule, right? We just don't. I'm talking about us here in Arkansas.
Gosh, it's only 6:16.
Right, we don't get a ton of
like 5 o'clock in the
a
afternoon.
ton of these games against just like the college football elite from outside the SEC. This is one of those moments. You're playing the most storied program in the history of the sport, and you're kicking off at 11 a.m. local time, and that's just absurd. It really is. And Bo, you did a great job of laying the whole thing out. Like, again, the adults in the room.
He sounded like a suit, didn't he?
The adults in the room have screwed it up for everybody else. And ESPN's executives are as guilty as the conference commissioners and the institutions and all the money-hungry people just preying on college athletics who have turned it into something that isn't what it's supposed to be.
I love it when Bart gets high.
I do too.
I love it.
We got to take a break, but we're going to make more coffee and keep going. I mean, we're just getting started.
I got a lot more to
mad
say.
as hell. I ain't going to take it anymore. 6:17, Chuck and Bo Show.
Chuck, you've been around a while, and look, I don't mean that ugly. And Bo, you've been around not as long as Chuck.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Hey, you can beat inflation and upgrade your ride at Chevy of Fayetteville. Right now, drive home a brand new Chevy Silverado, Blazer, Equinox EV, or the Tough 2500 with rates as low as 1.9% APR. Plus, take advantage of huge discounts and get top dollar for your trade-in. Go see Chris, Mark, and Denver at Chevy of Fayetteville, where the deals are big and the road ahead is even better. Chevy of Fayetteville. Let's drive.
Hey, want to fly like a VIP? With Jet Aircraft, you skip the TSA lines, skip baggage claim, and fly on your schedule. The plane doesn't leave until you get there. You enjoy a full bar and food service for up to 9 passengers and plenty of room for luggage. Wherever you need to fly to or from, whether it's a special trip to the College World Series or golfing with buddies, round up your crew, split the cost, and fly private. Also, ask about the Jet card. Visit jetnwa.com. That's Jet with 2 T's.
It's going to be a tough slog from now till the end of time.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
So happy for, everybody involved with the program, especially, more than anything, the players, because they're the ones that do all the work. So happy that, they're going to finish this season in Omaha.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Man, we're off and running, baby.
I don't know about y'all, but I am really looking forward to that Notre Dame game.
I am too.
And it starts in 5
It does. Just look at it.
4.5 hours.
Yeah,
from right
4
now.
hours,
Well,
38 minutes
yeah.
to game time. Really, in all seriousness, this is not a noon kickoff. I mean, Fox has this big noon kickoff, as they call it. ESPN talks about their noon game. There are 4 time zones in the continental U.S. It's a noon game in one of them. Yeah. For everybody else, it's 11, 10, or 9. It's a Saturday morning game. But again, and I will admit it, I like a good game at 11, right after ESPN game day.
The East Coast elites don't care about the other time zones. What are we talking about?
Well, look.
How do you brand something big noon kickoff
That's
when it's
what
only?
they say.
I know. It's dumb. It's only noon in one time zone, you morons.
I agree. That's the point I just made. Not quite as emphatically as you did.
Well, I felt like it needed a little bit.
Yeah, thank you for driving that point home.
So Bart is now after Fox as well. They don't have any skin in this game.
They're idiots.
All right, so we're mad about 11 a.m. games. We get it. We're mad at Bart. You were making the point earlier. The problem is they don't care, and I'm not saying they should, about an Arkansas perspective. Again, interests don't align. I'll give you another example. The best college football programs are not only the best because of their recruiting area and the tradition of winning. They're the best because they have the same interest from the president, the board of trustees, the chancellor, everybody involved, all the way through the athletic director to the coach. Every one of those people are on the same page. It's probably the thing that nobody talks really a lot about of Saban at Alabama. You think Saban couldn't get done what he needed to get done? Do you think that happens at every school?
You think they'd be playing a night game?
That doesn't happen at half the SEC. Well, I'm not even talking about this game time. I'm just saying all those interests align. And when all your interests align, everybody's winning in your organization. In college football, we don't have that. We don't have everybody's interest the same. They care about their television ratings, but we took their money. We're taking their money. And then let's say, okay, let's just get rid of the networks and let's not take their money. And then you're going to be really upset when some of your games aren't even on TV. I get it stinks, but my question is, what do you do about it? Like, what do you logically do about it?
Well, that's the thing is that, like, fans are helpless. There's nothing they can do.
That's what's frustrating.
They can't do anything.
Well, money is at the root of all of this, and what is money doing to the game you love? What is it doing?
Screwing it up.
It's screwing it up. It really is. That's a fact.
Like there's no question. Like these people in charge of the sport, the TV networks have screwed everything about college sports up.
And it's really easy to talk about it when it's other people making the money.
Well,
but like if we were making the money and they wanted to give us all this money,
hey,
I mean, what are you going to say no?
I just wish they'd do something about 8 o'clock tip-offs in basketball. I'll make the 11 a.m. football trade.
You'll make that one work.
I'll make that
it's
trade.
The late night.
It's the late nights that I don't like.
It is. It is. Okay, I don't want to. It's horrific. But on the other side of it, like, we can live with it. But it kills businesses. It kills experiences.
That's what I wonder about.
It kills. I mean,
I don't own a restaurant.
Like millions,
I'm curious.
Millions of dollars are not going to be spent at restaurants in Northwest Arkansas.
Well, is it better to have an 11 a.m. game? Like, let's say you owned a spot on Dixon Street. Is it better to have an 11 a.m. game? They pour in at 3. They stay there till you run them out at midnight. Or is it better to have an afternoon game where you catch them for lunch, catch them for dinner, and then run them out late night? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking because I've never been in that spot.
I can't remember. People have told me. I can't remember what they've told me. I want to say night games aren't great for business.
Because most of the time it's how it affects their business, whatever their opinion is.
Yeah.
An afternoon game is probably the best.
Yeah,
I would
you're probably getting a little before and you're getting a little after.
Right.
But let's open it up. What do you hate about 11?
What do you hate most?
Somebody called the National College Sports Show this morning that I listen to sometimes on the way in. on Channel 84, Sirius XM. And they said they're a Nebraska fan, and they went to the Colorado game, and they played it
at 9 o'clock.
They played it at like 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Oh, okay.
Or whatever it was.
All right.
But it was at Colorado, but it was a 9 or 10 a.m. start. It's probably 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. on the Pacific Coast. 10 a.m.
Colorado is one of those places. You either play at 10 in the morning or 10 at night. I mean, some of those schools never have normal starting times.
But just to bring this back home, the issue we have is because of television, which we all enjoy. Like, we enjoy watching it. But when it comes to our game, we don't just get to choose when we want to play. And as a fan, that stinks. That stinks because of where they put the game sometimes, how it affects your schedule. As a team, as an organization, that stinks a lot of times. Like, not just sometimes. Most of the time, you'd rather be playing at a different time.
You're hurting.
Whenever they do schedule.
Right. You're hurting fan interest over time. It erodes when you keep playing these early games. When you have a big matchup that people are excited about, and it's an early game. Like, you're eroding fan interest, and when you erode fan interest over time, you lose revenue from the fans. You lose ticket sales. You lose merch sales. You just lose interest. And so what does that mean? Then the universities have to ask for more money, more donations to make up for all this money that they're missing. And then fans just get more pissed off because now they're getting asked for more money.
It's a vicious cycle.
It is. It is.
More raffles.
It is.
That's what we need. We need a raffle. We need a weekly raffle just to lift the mood.
Yeah.
Give us something to look forward to when, so we won't, focus on 11 a.m. kickoffs.
People won't even attempt the trip here.
Hey, I will say this, though.
Game.
Let me say one more thing about the 11 a.m.
Seth
game.
and Rogers.
I
Good
believe,
morning, Seth.
and I've always believed this, there is a competitive advantage for teams in the Eastern time zone with a noon 11 a.m. kickoff. Anybody that doesn't believe that, if they weren't at that Georgia game a few years ago, you learn the difference between 11 a.m. and noon. There's a lot of difference in that hour, what kind of crowd you're going to draw.
Yeah.
And look at for example, in basketball season, if you're in the Central time zone, you're either going to play at 6 or 8 o'clock in the middle of the week. If you're in the Eastern time zone, most of the time you play at 7. You get a few 9 o'clocks here and there in the Eastern time zone, but most of the time you play at 7. And in football, if you've got the early kickoff, it's a noon kickoff, and that hour does make a difference. So I think there is a little bit of an advantage for the Eastern time zone there.
Oh, man.
I know.
My buddy's 34th text just came through.
Yeah.
He's rolling. He's smart. He's got good points. Says them well.
Yeah.
Save them for the next segment. We're just so you know, you've joined the Arkansas Notre Dame pregame show.
It is Omaha week, though. You're in the right spot. We are live.
It is, but it's also it's fast forward to September 27th.
Bart had a lot to say.
It's game day. We're inside the pregame show for Notre Dame Arkansas kickoff, a historical matchup that'll happen before lunch. I can't even say it with a straight face.
You can tell I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, real talk. You hear us talk about the Sweat 'n 'em Edge on the Chuck and Bo Show, but also it's Father's Day, and yeah, socks are great, but how about a tune-up that actually makes you feel good? Head to the spa at Sweat 'n 'em Cosmetic Surgery. Get a deep clean facial, laser the back hair, maybe a little Botox. Call 479-966-4174. Again, that's 479-966-4174. You deserve to look as good as you grow.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
The two best guys in mediocre sports radio.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
morning, sir. Anybody that says sleep's overrated is not 66 years old, I'm going to tell you right now.
Boy, you're not lying.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
At the risk of getting away from the topic of the day.
Yes.
Has preempted our Omaha
Yeah.
discussion, and the Razorbacks, landed in Omaha to play the College World Series as this 11 a.m. kickoff with Notre Dame and Arkansas. We got a lot to get to, but first of all, the day started for me. I was a little groggy, slept an extra 5 minutes, finally got up. Now I'm 5 minutes behind, and the coffee maker needs to be descaled, and Bart does not live with me.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, I have no solution at
Unplug
this
it,
point.
plug it
And
back
I
in.
did. It didn't work.
Really?
And, yeah. And I honestly, I promise you, I literally in that moment thought, where's Bart?
Yeah.
And I remembered he does not live at my house. So I quickly pulled myself together and realized this was not going to be a morning where I had what I wanted, which was coffee at home. And it's about getting yourself together, getting yourself out the door, and getting yourself to the nearest convenience store.
Been there.
For a cup of coffee.
Been there.
So I do that. My whole routine's off at this point. And get to the parking lot. I'm late. Bart's already here, just to give you an example. If Bart beats me here, I know it immediately gives him anxiety because he thinks something's probably wrong.
Bo was so late,
Even
I
though
pulled into the parking
Chuck
lot.
pulled in
while he
as I
out
was
there.
getting out of my vehicle.
Yeah.
And while we're in the parking lot, that's where we're headed with this story. There's a car half blocking the entrance to the parking lot.
Just parked.
Looks. I don't know how you say this about a car, but it looks disheveled.
It looked dead. Like it had heaved its last
Like it
breath.
had a long night.
Yeah.
And it ended up there. And I'm pretty sure there wasn't a license plate on the vehicle because I looked. And the gas cap thing was, kind of half open.
Right.
I'm like, this person ran out of gas, up to no good in the middle of the night, running from police. And, I mean, the way the car is parked,
No,
the
it
way
is.
our
It is.
parking lot is.
It's like they got out and ran.
Be honest, that's your first thought.
Yeah.
And then my thought then shifted to Edward and his safety because I knew he was the first one
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Turns out Edward says the car has moved, 30, 40 feet.
Rolled down the hill.
Rolled down the hill from another part of the parking lot where it was. And somebody was in it when he got here this morning.
I tried to mind my own business.
4:40 or whatever it was.
Were you packing? Do you pack when you come that early?
I feel like I need to start maybe. I don't
So
know.
now there's a lady down there. There's a lady down there, walking circles around her vehicle with the hood
That's
up.
who was in the car when I pulled up this
And
morning.
the question becomes, do I go down there and do a man on the street interview?
Absolutely.
Well, we were trying to diagnose the issue with her car. And
Yes.
Bart leaned out the window, took a little gander, and, it's either the starter or the alternator. One of the two.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah. Edward's like, I think she might need a jump. And Bart's like, nah, starter, alternator. Yeah. 11 a.m. start time.
Go down there and ask her what she thinks about the 11 a.m. kickoff with Notre Dame.
Well, what I should tell her is she's still got 3 hours and 20 minutes to make it to the game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Hey, I know you're struggling this morning.
Listen, trust me, I know you've been up all night, but you're way ahead of people who aren't even awake yet right
been
now,
up a while.
trying to get to this game. You're ahead of the game today.
Yeah.
That'll be like a night game for her.
Imagine
11 a.m.
this.
Kickoff.
Imagine this.
She has no sense
For
of
the
time.
first time in history, just imagine how good this is. This is historical. For the first time in history, Notre Dame's going to play Arkansas. For the first time in history in football, Notre Dame's coming to play football at Reynolds Razorback Stadium. It's a historical moment, and it happens before lunch. What a day. What's going to happen in the afternoon? I mean, that's how you start your day. A historical day. You have a game like that, and you haven't even gotten to lunch
Maybe
yet.
we could have an exhibition basketball
Could be a
game
huge
that night.
day. What do you want to do that evening?
It's a little early, I guess.
Hey, kids, if you're thinking about getting married on that day, just do it in the afternoon. It's great for weddings.
Go to the game. Take
Notre
a
Dame
nap,
game at 11 a.m. is
go out
great
to
for
dinner.
weddings. And this ends the positive spin on the 11 a.m. start date.
Yeah, that wasn't doing it for me. I didn't like that. Didn't like that.
Hey, how many SEC teams are in the Central Time Zone? How many are in the East? I'm just curious.
So there are 11 of the 16 schools in the Southeastern Conference that are in the Central Time Zone. That is, in case the people at ESPN who make programming decisions were curious, that is more than half of the teams in the league. In fact, it's substantially more. There are only 5 schools in the Southeastern Conference that are actually in the Eastern Time Zone. So there are only 5 schools who are actually playing at noon if they have the early slot. So get your messaging straight, and I don't know, figure out where the lines are. Look at a map. I don't know. Figure it out.
Why does ESPN hate us? Why do they hate us, Bart?
Well, well, Chuck.
Put it on the poll.
I don't know.
Put it on the poll. Why does ESPN hate us?
I don't know.
Signed all college fan bases, but particularly Arkansas.
My question would be, why are you the way that you are?
We have
That's the question I want to ask. Why are you the way that you are?
I don't want to get away from that. But just breaking news, according to JT in Hot Springs, there's a beautiful rainbow over Hot Springs.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
Beautiful
Great.
rainbow.
Great.
So,
Well, there's been a lot of
That's
rain.
lovely.
I mean, there's been rain move through the state.
Why
early
don't you read?
this reminds me of like church service.
Why don't you read the?
Come to the Notre Dame Sunrise game.
We're gonna be passing the plate around,
Come to
begging
the
for
Arkansas.
money.
We're gonna have an Arkansas
for
Notre
NIL.
Dame. We're gonna have an Arkansas Notre
Pass the
Dame
plate.
Sunrise
Well,
game.
we're gonna have a raffle. I know that. We're gonna have a raffle.
Can we play
Pass
the
the
game
plate.
on Easter? I mean, like, it's sunrise. Can we have a? Why don't we just move it back? Why not? If we're gonna play in the morning, why don't we play really in the morning? Like, let's do 6 a.m. You want to talk
Make it
about?
novel?
Let's make some history. Let's not be putting the hungover game. This is like the hangover game. This should be another hangover movie. 11 a.m. games.
We're gonna have a GoPro
Which
on
is
Bart.
which
the
is
whole
9
weekend.
a.m. in Vegas.
Yeah, 9 o'clock.
Hey, just pretend
I mean,
we're in Vegas.
look.
okay?
I mean, drive the point home. It's 9 a.m. in Vegas.
Yeah.
And that's what
mean,
really matters. Let's be
well,
honest.
I mean, come on.
How about that?
Can't be kicking off games at 9 a.m. in Vegas.
I mean, you can right there in the sports book
Well,
with
they
a
do
Bloody
it
Mary.
pretty much every Sunday.
Well, you know.
It's called the NFL.
Yeah.
How do you sum up it being okay for the NFL and not for college football? And it's not. And actually, you're not saying college football. You're just saying.
Well,
Arkansas.
games in
You
the
just don't wanna
Central
deal with
Time
it.
Zone in the NFL do start at noon. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
like every game starts at noon in the East. Now the Mountain Time Zones and the Pacific Time Zones have to deal
That's
with it.
right.
But
It
it's
is
not
1
like
o'clock
we
Eastern.
have an
It's not
11
noon,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
1
we
o'clock.
don't have
Right.
an 11 a.m.
Well, and
NFL game.
the NFL. Does
Although
a
I'd
good
watch
job.
it if we did.
The NFL, I'd have to look at the NFL schedule for this year, but from a geographical standpoint, they're not kicking games off at 10 a.m. local time or anything like that. Like they're
You're right.
They actually serve the fans, unlike college football.
Yeah.
877-377-6963. I wasn't listening.
You're not wrong.
But
you're
Chuck,
not wrong.
I know Chuck liked it. There's a lot to dig into here. I mean, we're just scraping the surface. I mean, what do you want to do about it? I mean, you want to leave the networks? I mean, we got to figure something out because we're taking the money. We're taking the money. We're taking it to First Security Bank. We're depositing it, and then we're sitting there telling them they got to do better with the game time. And I get it. But what do you do about this?
They're paying for it. They're giving you oodles and gobs of money, which they will remind you every time you say, I don't like the kickoff time. I mean, that's just how it works.
So,
if you're going to take their money, you're going to take their orders too. That's how it works.
There's other elements to this. Like, is it just because we're Arkansas? We'll get into that when we come back. 877-377-6963. The Notre Dame, Arkansas, first ever football matchup happens in 4 hours and 15 minutes. If it's September 27th, that's when the game's happening. Hey, it's more than just banking at First Security Bank. Friendly people helping you, Arkansans. Friendly Arkansan professionals ready to help you bank better all throughout the state. More convenient locations. Friendly local banking is how you bank better. First Security Bank, member FDIC, fsbank.com, online. The Chuck and Bo Show, good morning. Chris in Fayetteville, you're on the news, weather, information station.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, we're full service, baby.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, summer's heating up, and Splash Car Wash is keeping your ride looking fresh with a special deal just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one Best Wash and get 2 free. One for you, one for your spouse, one for a friend, or just keep them all. It's an easy way to stay clean, cool, and cruising all summer long. That's 3 top-tier washes for just $27. Text Splash Car Wash to 22322 to access this exclusive online-only offer.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yingling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yingling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yingling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
Did you know Chevy of Fayetteville is the #1 volume dealer in Northwest Arkansas? That means nobody sells more cars, trucks, or SUVs than Chevy of Fayetteville. They've been a part of our community for over 25 years. They're supporters of our local schools and the Razorbacks. And they're the best after the sale. An award-winning service and parts department, a waiting area, complimentary loaners. So go see Chris Mark in Denver and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville, inside the Fayetteville Auto Park.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more. They carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
How was Saturday night for you after the game? What'd you do to celebrate?
The only remedy, I thought maybe get a few cold beers in there, maybe help it out a little bit.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
rules we set down when we started this show was we're not going to leave our best shots on the driving range.
We do it every day.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We do not sandbag the 6 o'clock hour.
No.
And we might play, 45 minutes of grab butt some mornings.
We have game slippers.
But we'll
drift.
We have all-American tomfoolery sometimes, between 6 and 7 a.m. But we don't sandbag. Meaning if we got something to get into, and we know we have something to get into, as we did at, 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. There's no
talked about going live.
For
we
waking
almost
up.
went live yesterday.
Yeah, there's no time for waking up. I mean, you're right into it. You better, when it comes to the Chuck and Bo Show, if you think starting your coffee routine at 6:02 is early enough, sometimes you're wrong. You might need to pregame with us. You might need a 5:50 a.m. cup of coffee to be ready what's coming at 6:02, because today it was hot in here at 6:03.
Hey, if you need a warm-up hour, we'll start
on.
at 5. I mean, if we need a warm-up hour, we'll start sooner.
And if we need an extra hour, we'll go to 10. It'd be like the old Howard Stern show. You don't ever know when it's going to end.
I know.
Might be noon. Could be 1. Could be just in time for the Notre Dame-Arkansas game.
It might be.
At 11.
It might be.
You don't know. Hey, we got some other news. Arkansas made it safely to Omaha.
They did. They'll practice today.
3:10. They got a 50-minute practice at Charles Schwab Field.
It's going to be hot up there.
Yeah. I mean, it usually is.
It is hot up there.
It usually
is.
is.
It is. Windy.
This is Dave Van Horn. You want to hear from the ball coach yesterday?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, it never gets old, that's for sure. It's been quite the journey with this team. It's been a blast, honestly. These guys they're just winners, and I say it all the time. They show up, they play hard. We haven't won them all, but we played hard pretty much every day, and can't think of a better group to take to Omaha, honestly.
This just in, because of some ESPN scheduling conflicts, they've moved the Arkansas LSU game from 6 o'clock on Saturday night to 6 o'clock in the morning. They got a cornhole tournament on Saturday night that they overlooked.
Big air.
And
Big air dog jumping.
Somebody forgot to bring the notes to the meeting, and they got to fix this.
Ooh, that's going to be early. What do you think about that, Bart?
This game against LSU is huge. They're talking about this being the biggest crowd they've ever had for a College World Series.
I bet it's not at
game.
6 in the morning.
And it's the first game, at least on this side of the bracket.
I can't wait. They could play it at 6 in the morning. I'd be fine with it.
LSU fans would love it being at 6 a.m.
I don't know.
They'd be there.
Oh, they would be.
They'd be up all night.
They would be drinking at 5.
Arkansas is going to play Louisville in basketball in an ACC game.
Coming to the bud.
Little Rock pitcher Jackson Wells has committed to Arkansas. Softball picked up a big commitment, too. So much to come on the Chuck and Bo Show. 877-377-6963. Tiana Bell's the California transfer infielder that's coming in for softball.
Good for them.
Almost 7 o'clock.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got your back.
Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call. Hey, it's Bo, and for me, business comes down to working with people I like and can count on. And that's Teamwork Roofing and Construction. They do what they say, they're on time, and when they're done, it's like they were never there and you have a brand new roof. Built with expert craftsmanship and the best materials. When it comes to commercial or residential roofing, get the customer care Teamwork Roofing and Construction offers. Check them out on their Facebook page, Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Built on quality, powered by teamwork.
Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK.
Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what on time is for you, but yeah, you got here before the show started.
Whatever. Hey, have you ever seen anyone that takes so much pride in being the first one here?
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
I think the lineup is a little more threatening, 1 through 9 for Arkansas, and there's a greater depth in arms. But But this time of year, it is chaos. And you guys know this with basketball. You guys have had some good runs, but also fallen short. Crazy things have happened. But I like Arkansas in the matchup. I like the fact that instead of going to Baton Rouge and having all their fans, it will be the two biggest fan bases there will be Arkansas and LSU. But it's playoff time and it's chaos.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo Show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Countdown to kickoff. We are inside 4 hours to Arkansas and Notre Dame at Razorback Stadium.
From the text line, Roger and Harrison. Bart may have a point, but on the other side of all of this, y'all would keep your audience if Bart would keep his mouth shut. No one wants to listen to a Karen who gets overly excited and can't seem to shut up.
Karen.
You probably should turn on some Taylor Swift and sit in the corner. What say you, Bart?
Well, Roger seems like a really fun
What say
guy
you,
to
Karen?
be around.
Karen?
What do you say there, Karen?
He seems like just a load of joy. Seems like somebody you'd really like to spend your weekends hanging out with.
Basically, he's saying
he sounds like a damn Karen. Is what he's
saying we'd have a better show if you'd shut up. Is what he's saying.
Well, you know what, Roger? Screw you.
Whoa!
Wow! Let's just go right to the. Let's just cut right to the chase.
Yeah,
let's just hit right below the belt.
Why don't you just tell him to bleep off while you're at
Well, I would. Yeah. I would if I could, but the FCC would frown upon that. I don't want anybody getting a phone
Well,
call.
I always love it when a Karen
Screw 'em.
calls somebody else a Karen. Like, this is clearly a Karen. What is he going by, Roger?
Roger from Harrison.
From Harrison.
Roger's a
I'm
Karen.
shocked by
Roger's
all
a
of this,
Karen
by the
who
way.
is calling you out for being a Karen.
Yeah.
Well, at least you said. At least he said you may have a point, though.
Read it again.
Said Bart may have a point, but on the other side of things, y'all would keep people's interest if he could keep his mouth shut. I'm just reading it.
Oh, just pause
No one-
momentarily. Apparently, we have enough of Roger's interest to take the initiative
That's right.
to text the show.
That's right. But he'd be more interested if Bart would keep his mouth shut. No one wants to listen to a Karen. A Karen.
Yeah, that's kind of.
No one wants to listen to a Karen who gets overly excited and can't seem to shut up. I mean,
Hey, by the way, the last part of this, he should probably turn on some Taylor Swift and sit in the corner. I probably will listen to some Taylor Swift today.
do
Roger.
you sit in the corner when you do it?
No, I'll be in my car driving somewhere,
Yeah.
but I probably
That
will.
new car?
I probably will. So, hey, way to go, Roger. You got that one.
Do you open the sunroof sometimes
Chevy
and
of
crank
Fayetteville.
up the Taylor Swift?
Situation room.
Do you?
Well, music in
Do you?
general,
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
We've been in the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room since about 6:03 this morning. Notre Dame Arkansas game scheduled for 11 a.m.
Now
Central.
he dropped a slur. He dropped a
Uh-oh,
slur.
uh-oh.
Ban
him from the show.
Congratulations, Roger. You've been banned.
There you go, Roger.
You drew a
couldn't
slur
help
out of him.
yourself.
You
Couldn't
drew
help
a slur
yourself.
out of him, Bart.
Couldn't hide your true self anymore, could
Yeah,
you?
well, this all checks
there
out.
it is.
Everything about this checks out.
11 a.m.
And
kickoff.
all of this is a result of the 11 a.m. kickoff.
Every bit
None
of
of
it.
these personal attacks would have. I mean, he's turning people
Just-
against each
It
other.
is. It is. It's
Congratulations, Roger. You are now banned from the show.
toxic. The 11 a.m. kickoff is toxic.
We're banning people for slurs now.
Yeah, we're banning people for slurs.
Are we?
Yes.
Well, that's really going to cut down the
I was going to
audience.
say, man, this is talk radio, Bart. Let's not be self-defeating.
Hold on a second. Let's think about this, okay? You want the money from ESPN or do you
That's
not
right.
want the money from ESPN?
It's one thing to gripe about
one
them.
thing
It's
to
another
say,
thing to say we're done.
Walk away from that network money so we can play whenever we want to.
That's right.
It's another thing to actually do it and not have the money.
Well, I don't actually want a divorce, but, you know.
Yeah, check that out. Yikes.
Well, anyway, Roger and Harrison's been blocked.
Well, listen, don't be getting block happy over there.
No, that's the second block I've ever utilized. In
Karen
the
is
history of
not
the
a
show.
slur. Just for the record. It may feel like one, but it's not. Rod's on I-40. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning, Rod.
Ooh, such hate and discontent.
Well, I know. Right in the middle of College World Series
Right,
week.
in the world, a happy time.
Hey, it must be an LSU fan. Guys, it is talk radio. It's like the art of talk radio without talk. Roger, don't mince words. Tell us how you really feel. The day I feel like listening to Taylor Swift, they'll be sitting there with a revolver on one side of the table and a bottle of rum on the other side of the table. That's my granddaughter's kind of crap in the first place. And Bart, just go right on talking, because the more you stir up, the more emotion you get, the more you're doing your job. That's you're there to get a reaction.
There's a radio veteran.
Poetry
right
in motion,
Thank you,
right?
There's a
Really
veteran.
Say it with your chest, Bart.
All
right, let's reset here, okay? News broke yesterday. ESPN said, hey, we're going to let y'all know when our windows are going to be for the season, right?
Which is really a non-news
happened.
event
Kickoff
anyway,
times.
because
Kickoff
they didn't
times.
actually give us any
you got to
kickoff
plan your
times.
travel. You got to know, do I need a hotel for this night or this night?
Kickoff times. You
Got to
said
get
it.
off
Thank
work.
you. Thank you. I didn't even set that up very well. Kickoff times. So here's what early is, okay? These are, you want to make the central conversion on these times? I'll go ahead and do that. Early means we're talking central time, 11 to noon. Afternoon means 2:30 to 3:30. Night means 5 to 7. These are start times. Flex means games flex between the afternoon and the night windows.
We're going to wait and see how good you are. That's what flex means.
Okay, Arkansas. On September 27th, Notre Dame, 11 a.m. September 13th against Ole Miss, which is earlier in the year, 6 or 6:45. Tennessee, flex. A&M, flex. Auburn, early. Mississippi State, afternoon. LSU, early.
At LSU.
At LSU, early.
Oh, but that's great.
It's great for us.
Well,
It's great
That's
for
a
Arkansas.
different deal. That's a different deal.
Yeah, it's great for Arkansas. Not great for LSU fans. At Texas, flex. And Missouri, night.
Night game?
Yeah.
Against Missouri?
Yeah.
Wow. That'll be cold. Be chilly.
So you got early against LSU, early against Auburn, early against Notre Dame.
I didn't know that night game against Missouri part in there.
And what happened when this came out yesterday, especially with Notre Dame being such a massive non-conference game, at least it feels like that to us, and they've never played before. And for ABC to rarely get a Notre Dame game because Notre Dame's home games are all on NBC. So they have a limited number of games that they could get Notre Dame on their network. Notre Dame is a massive brand with as many worldwide fans as you can have. Like, I don't know if there's a team that has more of a worldwide brand because of the
probably not,
because of the Irish Catholic part of Notre Dame, which is Notre Dame, around the country. And so you have this massive brand, and we're thinking, well, that's going to be a primetime game. Primetime being at night. Well, turns out it's not. Turns out it's not, and it's happening before lunch. And I think we were all disappointed. Bart was on another level. My friend Aaron is not. He's on another level, and I'm going to read. It will take a segment. I will read these texts, but I think he speaks for all Arkansans. I really do. I read it, some of it, and you think you were like, "This is a pretty good voice to represent all Arkansans."
Just clean it up a little bit.
I'll clean it up. I'll do a live filter while I'm reading.
Do the beeps.
Here's the thing. Since the dawn of the BCS, since 1998,
the dawn of time,
Notre Dame has played exactly one game that kicked off at 11 a.m. local time, and it was because of Fox and their big noon kickoff. They had the rights to the Notre Dame-Wisconsin game that was played at Soldier Field in Chicago in 2021. That is the only time since 1998 that Notre Dame has played a game at 11 a.m. local time.
Yeah. Wow. That's surprising. But it, David and Jonesboro's chimed in. Talk about something else, please. All caps. David? What would you like to talk about?
You're not
Well,
as mad as
there is a.
You don't understand Bart's rage. You don't understand how Bart is.
Yeah, you don't understand how big of a deal this has to be.
Well, what did you say earlier? Everything that's wrong with college sports.
It is
everything.
It is a microcosm of everything that's wrong with college sports these days.
ESPN's fault.
Those
suits.
There are 11 of the 16 SEC teams that play in the Central Time Zone. Stop making everything revolve around the Eastern Time Zone, because it's not where your conference's membership lies.
Now, are we insulted by the fact it's going to be played at 11? Do we take it as an insult, or are we just mad because we can't tailgate all
Some
day?
people have texted, win more games, and you won't play at 11 a.m. Is
Well,
that true?
There's some truth to that.
I don't know how much truth there is to that, honestly.
There's
They got to
some,
play
though.
every week. But look, you got a math problem again, just like winning games. You got to put teams somewhere. And you have really big brands, really big games, and they're going to place them in different time slots, not at the same time. They're not going to put two great games at the same time, because then you're dividing your eyeballs, and it's on your networks.
Here's the other thing about this, though, right? And this gets back to what I was saying about this being a microcosm of what's wrong with college sports right now. These are the types of matchups, non-conference games, that used to be celebrated, that used to be big events. When you played, you had these intersectional games, like a Texas playing a USC or an Ohio State, or a Florida playing Michigan, or Oklahoma playing UCLA. I don't like, these were the games that mattered, that like fans got really excited about. This is a game that should be celebrated. Arkansas doesn't play a lot of these big time major non-conference games. I'm talking about the elite programs in the history of the sport. Michigan, Ohio State, USC. Like they did play USC, and it was a big deal. Even though USC
They played
won,
at night too, didn't they?
Even though USC won those games,
They sure did, Chuck.
It was a big deal that people were excited about. That's what this game should be, and the people responsible have kind of taken that away.
Yeah, now it's brunch.
Now they want more conference games. They don't want these high profile non-conference games. They want more conference games, more inventory, because it means more money.
So you're going to have breakfast at your tailgate? You're going to have breakfast at your tailgate that
Going to
day?
have to.
Watch the sun come up.
3 hours and 45 minutes for kickoff.
I mean,
Notre
think
Dame
about it right
and
now.
Arkansas.
We're an hour and 15 minutes into the pregame show.
Countdown to kickoff, Arkansas and Notre Dame in a historical game. That will happen before lunch. Listen, by the time we get there, it'll be like, okay, whatever. It'll still be a great crowd. It'll be a great game. It'll be great for people wanting early morning television. It's not. It is the absolute worst, I think, for the fans. It's great for the media. Actually, the players often love it because they don't have to sit around and think about and wait on the game all day. They can get right to it. Then they have the rest of the day, which during college football season, having that Saturday evening is really valuable time. But for fans, it's awful. And I get it. And it was a wet blanket on our Omaha fire.
Yeah. Let's talk about baseball.
Let's talk about baseball. Go.
Oh, now you want to change the subject. I'm joking.
Oh, we'll come back to it. I got to read all these texts. Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room. By the way, got a lot of people, today we got some attitude problems on text today. So this is what happens. So the last 2 days, we've just had a really welcoming, energetic, nice vibe to the show, really all week. We hooked up with the enemy. We had a great conversation with the enemy. We had the Lloyd brothers' father in here. We almost cried. Kyle Peterson cried on the show yesterday.
He really did. Nobody gets closer.
Story.
Nobody gets closer.
I mean, we are Oprah this week. And then today we come out with some, quite frankly, some negativity. And you can just see how the attitude, you get a little negativity out here, and the attitude of people texting the show is toxic. We got to change the attitude.
So let's talk about baseball.
Little shots at you, little shots at me, probably a shot at Chuck, but we won't talk, we don't want to get into that. Just like little things, and it's just like, what are we doing here? Slurs. Somebody called you Karen. Slur. Like, it's not okay. Like, let's Come on.
Hey, we've got a baseball team that's competing for a national
I
championship.
can't believe they put that game at 11 a.m.
I can't either.
I cannot believe
just
that.
can't. I mean, when I saw it yesterday, I thought, Bart's going to be mad. And by God, I was right.
You didn't get time. You didn't get time to find out if Bart was going to be mad.
I found out from Bart.
Chuck said if ever there was a demand for the Chevy of Fayetteville.
Cries out. Cries
this
out.
moment cries out.
That's right.
For the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room. If you've been thinking about a new ride, Chevy of Fayetteville is kicking off summer drive deals with some of the best offers this month. Get in there this month. Trailblazer starting at $23,000. Colorado's at $30K. How about an all-new Equinox EV? Sleek, efficient, and starting at just $30,000. No matter what you're looking for, the deals are happening now inside the Fayetteville Auto Park at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive.
Hold on, guys. I'm on the Chuck and Bo Show. Hold on.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly.
Sleep is probably God's gift of medicine that we really don't utilize enough. If you have obstructive sleep apnea, it needs to be treated. There are some potential surgical solutions that can help you that actually work today.
Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better.
Hey, give us a call, 479-755-3000, or log on to our website, precedent.com, PRECIDENT. We'd love to help.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
Guys, real talk. You hear us talk about the Sweat 'em Edge on the Chuck and Bo Show, but also it's Father's Day. And yeah, socks are great, but how about a tune-up that actually makes you feel good? Head to the spa at Sweat 'em Cosmetic Surgery. Get a deep clean facial, laser the back hair, maybe a little Botox. Call 479-966-4174. Again, that's 479-966-4174. You deserve to look as good as you grow.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
That's special.
I mean, I think everyone on this team should have the same answer. I want to be remembered as the first team to accomplish the mission, climb the mountain, and bring a trophy back to Fayetteville.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Yeah, this team's not afraid to embrace the idea of going to Omaha and being the first ones to come back with the trophy.
They got a little swagger to them, you know? I mean, they've...
a healthy swagger.
Yeah, I don't mean that in a bad way. Good teams have that, and they sort of have that.
Well, you got to have it. Like, you got to have it to compete.
It's kind of, you know, you're straddling that line between confidence and that guy's a little cocky. Let me tell you something, though. If you're going to go out and perform in front of 25,000 people, you better be a little cocky or you're going to get eaten alive.
And you better have a short memory.
That's right.
You got to be able to move on to the next thing. This is going to be quite the crowd that we're expecting in Omaha for LSU and Arkansas. Kyle Peterson, who's been there, lived there for years. I don't know how many games he's been to, but nobody knows more about the College World Series except maybe Ryan McGee, who's going to join us at 8 o'clock and wrote about it for Marty and McGee. How about that? You hear that? Yeah, what a lineup this
I
week.
did, yeah.
Ryan McGee coming up. He's a baseball aficionado,
He's
a
very
lover
good.
of the game, and great fun. We'll have him on. But this game they are anticipating could be, and we always say this, could be the biggest in the world. Well, it actually could set an attendance record.
Everybody up there is really good. You got to beat the best to be the best. And, you know, LSU's a great program, a lot of tradition. I think the biggest battle is going to be who's going to get the most seats, because I know both fan bases are amazing and will travel unbelievably. And I don't know how 28,000 is going to be enough.
It's going to be busting at the seams Saturday night. Our people and their people. I mean, that's basically what it's going to be. Oh. If I lived in Omaha, you know, if I was just an Omaha resident and I bought tickets to the College World Series every year, these would be up for sale.
Have we ever had an LSU moment like this?
Well, we played them, it was 2012. Was it 9 or 12? I think it was 9 when we played them down there, and they put us out, and then they won the national title.
And
the years run together. Yeah, that was in Omaha.
This one's different.
2012,
this one
maybe.
feels different,
I forget.
though. Yeah, it feels a little different.
Yeah.
But you don't get many moments. My point is where you're on a neutral site.
No, you're
big,
right.
Playing for
you're
all
right.
the marbles.
I mean, it's great.
With kind of two rivals. I mean, there's a little bit of a rivalry between the two fan bases.
Well, and it's, you know, there have been SEC versus SEC games up there. We've just not been there the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, this LSU Arkansas thing's a little bit more than if you're playing A&M.
No question.
You know?
Absolutely.
It's kind of like if you pick the rivals right now in SEC baseball for Arkansas in no particular order, it's always Texas, but then Tennessee and LSU would be the others, right?
Yeah, and I think, I mean, if you look at baseball history of Arkansas and the SEC, it's unquestionably LSU because they've been the hump you've been trying to get over, so to speak. And they set the standard. And they won 5 national championships in the 90s when Arkansas was new to the league. And they were the team you were always trying to beat. So, yeah, I think, in my mind, it'll always be LSU in baseball. But now I wasn't around, you know, for most of us, I don't think, if we're honest, so we paid a lot of attention to baseball back in the Southwest Conference days.
Would you watch the game with an LSU fan? If you're not going and you're watching on television,
no.
Would you watch the game with an LSU fan?
No, I couldn't do that.
I have friends that are LSU fans, which I know makes me suspect.
Well,
for
if they're
questionable
friends,
judgment.
that's one thing. Are you talking about friends or just a random LSU
No,
fan?
I'm talking about like a friend, but I'm still not. I'm still not sure I can do it.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not sure I can watch the game with some Arkansas. Well, I know I can't watch the game with some Arkansas fans.
I agree with
because I can't handle the comments during the game. I don't want to hear them. I just want to watch the game.
I agree with that. I'm the same way. I like just watching the game.
I don't know if we're qualified to do this, but can we give tips to fans while watching a game? Not every pitch is a judgment of the entire game. So, like, can you just let things play out a little bit? Not every out, not every at bat, not every strike, not every ball needs to be completely analyzed.
I will admit, when I go watch the Cardinals play, I'm strictly a fan. Every call is a bad call. When I went and saw the Knicks play,
I would love to see that. Why don't you swing at that? Let it go. How can you let that? What? How can you swing at that? What? That's a strike.
When the Knicks were playing, I was second guessing Tibbs at every turn. And
gosh, draw up a defense.
Those were.
Can we get a out of timeout defense?
Those were. I mean, and I enjoy that. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy that. I don't get to do it much.
Hey, Chuck, we told you yesterday about our new partner, Teamwork Roofing and Construction. We only partner with people we like, trust, and believe in. And this is a great fit for us, and I know they'll be a great fit for you. You can check out their Facebook page, Teamwork Roofing and Construction. The thing about roofing is people want you to do what you say you're going to do. Well, a lot of times it doesn't happen that way. They want you to have an honest conversation with the insurance company. They want to have an honest conversation about what you're in for. Communication's a big deal when you're getting a roof put on. But Teamwork Roofing is going to show up when they say they're going to show up. They're going to leave the site. It will look like they've never been there other than you have a great roof. Everything's cleaned up. There's no trash laying around, nails and stuff in the driveway. And they're going to walk you through the process before it all happens, because putting a roof on is an ordeal for sure. Attention to detail, clear communication, reliability, quality workmanship, transparent pricing is all what you get when it comes with Teamwork Roofing. Built on quality, powered by Teamwork. They are a licensed dealer with quality materials. You can count on their work. Give them a try. Built on quality, powered on Teamwork. Teamwork Roofing. Check out their Facebook page. It's 728, The Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning. You guys are part of my family. Everyone that listens to this show is just part of the Chuck and Bo family. We're building a community here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Did you know Chevy of Fayetteville is the #1 volume dealer in Northwest Arkansas? That means nobody sells more cars, trucks, or SUVs than Chevy of Fayetteville. They've been a part of our community for over 25 years. They're supporters of our local schools and the Razorbacks. And they're the best after the sale. An award-winning service and parts department, a waiting area, complimentary loaners. So go see Chris Mark in Denver and the team at Chevy of Fayetteville, inside the Fayetteville Auto Park.
When is the last time you thought, oh, the SEC's making an announcement today, and it's going to be good for the Hogs?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You know, it wouldn't be so painful if I wasn't so smart. I wish I was dumb like everyone else. Wouldn't it be great if I were just dumber?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
ESPN's Ryan McGee of the Marty and McGee Show.
I'm looking forward to
Join
that.
us at 8. They've done a great job with that show. I can't believe how long it's been on now. I remember when it first started. Those guys are great. Fun, down to earth. Ryan's great. He'll be with us. He's a big baseball guy. He's written about Omaha, the College World Series. And we'll chat at 7, at 8 o'clock. But we're going to talk to Ben Blakeman here in a second.
Are we?
877-377-6963. They just had the father-daughter camp.
Oh, that's right. Cal did.
With Cal. And we got Father's Day coming up. The most overlooked holiday of the year.
What are you getting?
But, again, the most overlooked. I'm getting an 11 a.m. kickoff time against Notre Dame. That's what I got. That's what we got.
Happy Father's Day.
For Father's Day. It's something for all of us, something we can appreciate. Hey, Jay Johnson in Omaha at the College World Series. LSU arrived Wednesday. Right. We got there Thursday. Here's the LSU head coach.
Oh, yeah, they're the most talented team in the country. There's no question about that. And that was addressed when we played them the first time. It's a great opponent. Like, this whole entire season, if we were going to get where we wanted to go, there was no question in my mind whether we would play them or not. I felt like this was inevitable, whether it was going to be game one or the finals. So just do it in game one.
That's Jay Johnson calling Arkansas the most talented team in the country. Ben Blakeman, lifelong Razorback fan, joining us. Ben, are you nervous or confident?
I feel good. Why not be confident?
Do you feel nervousness from people when they come into Blakeman's and they talk about this game? Because I'm tired of the nervousness. I want to hear you.
But everybody's talking about it.
No, I mean, we handled business with Tennessee. I don't think there's a better way to start than to have to go through Tennessee and LSU. Let's get it all out of the way.
Exactly. Another moment to celebrate. We've got to get out of this mindset of we're the favorite now. It's like we can't get our head around that. I mean, Jay Johnson just said we're the most talented team in college baseball.
Yeah, let's own it. Let's get used to it. And these guys, I mean, they seem so calm, cool, and collected, especially after that big win. I mean, yeah, there was celebration, but there wasn't the extravagant dog pile. The team huddle is just chill, and, it's to the point. So just keep taking care of business, and let's do it.
I don't know if you heard, but they announced the kickoff time for the Notre Dame game.
I just saw that on Instagram this morning.
11 a.m. And Bart wants to know if we can have Prosecco at 6 a.m. at Blakeman's and start a pregame show 5 hours before kickoff. Like, we want to change the idea that you can't tailgate before 11 a.m.
No, brilliant idea. Brilliant. We'll take care of that.
It'll be a special day at Blakeman's. We'll open at 6. Yeah. We'll be in the cafe there, Cafe B.
Yeah, but bubbles at Blakeman's, and then the big football game.
Yeah, everybody leaves with a purple bag. Go to the game.
Yeah.
How was the Cal camp, by the way? That's a great idea. We'll come back to that. We'll tailgate for the Notre Dame game. By the way, if today were the Notre Dame game, Chuck, we are about 2.5 hours.
4 hours, 22 minutes.
We're like 3.5 hours from kickoff.
So, Ben, I got to ask you, did you learn any basketball skills at the Cal camp, or was this like geared more toward the daughters?
This was definitely geared more towards the daughters. We've already discussed my basketball capabilities and performance previously on this show.
Yeah.
So I'm letting the fathers and daughters do the work. I've moved my basketball angle to more of the sideline, assistant coach kind of vibe.
The walk-around coach. Yeah. We got to have a walk-around coach. They don't have any responsibilities. They walk around, and they just see kind of how. Let's make sure all the drills are happening. Pick up a ball
pat
here
on
and
the
there.
Back,
yeah.
Clap the hands a little bit. Throw some passes. Yeah, that's me.
That's perfect.
No, but it was such a treat, for Cal to take this time. He's got a number of camps this summer with, different ages, different towns. It's amazing how busy that guy is, and he takes the time. And I love the idea of the father-daughter camp. It seems like, especially in our time, if anything, it was father-son. And he's just taking things to a whole new level. And it's, the confidence, the attitudes, it's amazing.
It is really cool. I mean, it takes the work off of dad trying to figure out what to do with their daughter who really doesn't want to hang out with them, but they like basketball. I mean, it really is. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah. It was beautiful.
So just because you brought it up, Chuck, you'll remember that Ben was maybe the only person that suffered an injury at Cal's
I do
Fantasy
remember.
Game.
That's why I asked if he developed any skills. He got hurt.
He has his own UAMS NIL deal now.
I know.
Thanks to Trevin Brazil's commercial on the radio. Boy, those doctors really took care of me. So
they did. Ronnie basically carried me to the trainer's table. So yeah.
Now that's an image.
That's awesome.
That's an image. Ben in the arms of Ronnie Brewer. That needs to be on the fantasy camp graphic. That's what we got to see.
Yep.
So how are you? Okay? Have you fully recovered? I mean, word has it you were at the gym this morning. So.
Yeah, so, I'm not going near a basketball court, but I realize, my core has just been so weak, and I've been out of the gym too long. So time to get back after it. Getting older, life is happening. Got to be fit.
All right, we'll get Ben Blakeman out of here with this. Glad you're doing better, and you keep working on – Tony Robbins just texted in to keep working on that core. Father's Day. Father's Day, most forgotten holiday of the year. We can sit around and pout about it, but what if we wanted to go get ourselves something for Father's Day? What would you recommend at Blakeman's? Can we come in there and get something for ourselves?
Well, of course you can do that, but I think, have the kids be a part of it, have mom be a part of it. Let's make it a family celebration for Dad. But obviously we've got timepieces, but, the big thing now, all these 10-year-old baseball all-stars wearing all their chains. Now the dads are wearing chains to be cool like the kids. So we're making that happen too this baseball season.
There you go. How about that? It's a family experience. Everybody leaves with a purple bag. A family experience. Everybody wins at Blakeman's.
Always the purple bag. Always the purple bag.
Well, you stay healthy. If you go to Omaha, we need some reports. We're going at some point, but we don't know when yet.
Well, let me know when you're going at some point.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll get a Suburban from Chevy of Fayetteville, and Bart will drive the Situation Room to Omaha.
We'll go mobile.
And we can
discuss the Notre Dame kickoff time all the way to Omaha.
all the way there.
That sounds perfect.
Well, hey, happy Father's Day to everyone there, and thanks for what you do and at Blakeman's, and we'll talk soon, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Go Hogs.
Ben Blakeman, super fan, lifelong fan, and we love having him on the show to get the what I would consider, an even-keeled sort of approach to fandom.
I wonder how many people are finalizing their plans today. What's today, Thursday?
It was when we came in this morning, but given the Notre Dame start time, I can't remember what day it is anymore.
Fast forward into September. But I think some people are probably firming things up today. How they're going to get there? Who they're are we going to stay?
Yeah.
Because you kind of got that dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night's easy. Now Monday afternoon, Monday night, not so easy.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be some people burning the road back and forth.
Oh yeah. Well, you have to. Most people do. If you have a job.
That's right.
Because you're up there for so long. I mean, it's a long time.
It is a long stay.
I was thinking about Cam Kojual. They're practicing tomorrow at his high school.
Oh, really?
And you know how he's just he's just in the moment so much anyhow. And now he's going to go back to Omaha, where he's from, to play in the College World Series, and he's going to go practice at his high school on Friday. Is that surreal? Would that be surreal if you're him? That would feel surreal to me.
Oh, he's going to be. He's going to be on top of the world. I mean, how could you have a better moment than that?
I'm so excited for this game. Are you excited for this game? I mean, are you as excited for this game as you were the Tennessee game? We were really pumped for the Tennessee game.
I'm more excited for this.
Did you see how Edwards started controlling your minutes?
Yeah.
This is like a mobile
load management.
It's like our AT&T account.
What Edwards trying to say is he's all good with the 11 o'clock kickoff.
I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I've got a young child.
Edwards managing Bart's minutes.
He is.
It's 7:44. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning. when you went into the Hall of Fame, I think it was at a Western Sizzler.
I think it was. It was at a motel. It wasn't a hotel. It was a motel.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more. They carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. Hey, it's Bo, and for me, business comes down to working with people I like and can count on. And that's Teamwork Roofing and Construction. They do what they say, they're on time, and when they're done, it's like they were never there and you have a brand new roof. Built with expert craftsmanship and the best materials. When it comes to commercial or residential roofing, get the customer care Teamwork Roofing and Construction offers. Check them out on their Facebook page, Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Built on quality, powered by teamwork. There's no better shopping experience than you're going to find at Macadoodles or at Guess Who in Bentonville. And every Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday. 15% off every bottle of wine in the store, even if it's already on sale. But when it comes to selection, amazing prices, and unbeatable customer service, Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville is second to none. Wine, beer, and spirits. Stock up for your next party or just stop by and grab your favorite. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got your back.
Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call.
Yeah, does Chuck sleep that much? Because it just sometimes...
He's old, so when you get old, you don't really sleep as much.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
used to be my opening line whenever I am seated at the debate. Chuck Barrett was unavailable, and last second, here I am. I'm always available. And so here we are today. Let's have a big time.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Now seems like a good time to get into the text machine.
Yeah, it really does.
I told you, man. He started off.
When Bart came out firing today, it set the tone.
It did.
It set a hateful tone.
All the shots are coming out today. Nico from Tawnytown has teed off on me.
Yeah.
Bo needs to learn when not to talk, please. Talk sports. Quit telling people how to live their lives, especially from Bo. Dude's got issues. Nico, let me guess. You're the one guy that doesn't.
Yeah.
You don't have issues.
I'm just glad I do.
Right?
I'm glad I don't.
By the way, he's not wrong. We all need to learn when to talk and when not to. Who bats 1,000 on that, by the way? Nico?
At least he's not telling people how to live their lives.
At least he's not telling me how to live mine.
That's right.
In the text.
Quit telling me how to live my
He's
life.
literally doing what he's asking me not to do. And then pointing out that I have issues. Oh, it's like when Twitter came out. The first thing that we said was platform for moron exposure. I can now tell the whole world what a moron I am without knowing it.
How's that worked out?
Without realizing.
How's that worked out?
Oh, it's toxic for
Yeah.
sure. Here's another one, Bruce in Nashville. If Arkansas doesn't win a game in Omaha, do you guys think Dave Van Horn retires? Why is that even a question?
I like the fact
What
that
makes someone ask that?
Well, because you're searching for the dark cloud. I mean, it begins with, what if they don't win a game? Like the question, the whole premise is not, what if they don't beat LSU? It's, what if they don't win a game? What if it's as bad as it can possibly be? What do we do then? What happens then?
And would you feel better if he retired if you didn't win a game?
He will tearfully give up.
Would that make it better?
The answer to your question is no. I don't think he retires if they don't win a game. I don't think he retires if they go undefeated up there and bring home the national championship and beat everybody 15-0. I think he's going to be the coach next year either way.
Yeah, I don't even know why it's a question.
Well,
did you see the team got together and watched Sandlot on the big
did they
screen
really?
at Baum Walker?
Awesome.
Before they left.
Awesome.
So
That
Wednesday
is,
night, they had their own kind of get together and they watched Sandlot. They had lawn chairs out there on the outfield grass watching Sandlot on the big screen.
How can you not feel good after watching Sandlot? I mean, it's if there was ever a perfect movie, that one's pretty
Vibes.
close.
That had to make them even a more odds-on favorite.
Good
Had to
vibes.
move the number.
People always ask, what's the best baseball movie? And they go through Major League and Bull Durham and Field of Dreams, all good movies. None of them as good as The Sandlot. None of them. It's the best baseball movie ever made. If you've ever played baseball in the yard, there's 10 million things in that movie you identify with.
There has been a slight adjustment to the odds. Arkansas now minus 130 on Saturday night against LSU in game one.
Did we have those odds before now?
Yeah.
As far as the
it
game
was-
against LSU, I
yeah.
just knew to win it all.
Yeah, they posted, I think, yesterday.
Okay. Oaklawn Sports.
Arkansas minus 130, LSU plus 100. Just real quick, quick rundown. Coastal Carolina minus 235 against Arizona. Oregon State minus 182 against Louisville. UCLA minus 305 against the Racers from Murray State.
So if you want to go place a wager on the College World Series, go to Oaklawn Sports. You can download the app if you don't already have it. Easy for me to say. Apple App Store or Google Play Store. Download the app. New customers can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. And if you're already a customer, new and existing customers get a 10% profit boost on qualifying three-leg parlays. Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. Do we have any birdies at the U.S. Open? By the way?
What's going on there?
We do.
Anybody lost the ball in the rough yet?
We'll get to that.
Unconfirmed.
Where were you going?
I was just going to say Arkansas still plus 175 to win the whole thing. LSU plus 200, and then it drops to Coastal Carolina at plus 6,500. Oregon State 7-1.
I think the bettors have got it right. Winner of the Arkansas LSU game, Coastal Carolina. One of those teams is probably going to raise the trophy.
It's going to be Arkansas and Oregon State for
You
the
think
national
so?
title. It
Okay,
has to be.
okay.
It has to be.
I think it's going to be Coastal out of the
It
other
probably
side.
will be.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Coastal out of the
Really?
other side. Yeah,
I think
do.
it probably will be too, but for the story, it has to be
They're hot.
Arkansas, Oregon State.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Has to be.
That'd feel a lot better than Coastal Carolina. Is the winning score in the U.S. Open going to be under or over par?
It'll probably be like 1 under, but I
Okay.
hope it's 5 over.
ESPN, SEC Network personality Ryan McGee joins us next.
Hey, want to fly like a VIP? With Jet Aircraft, you skip the TSA lines, skip baggage claim, and fly on your schedule. The plane doesn't leave until you get there. You enjoy a full bar and food service for up to 9 passengers and plenty of room for luggage. Wherever you need to fly to or from, whether it's a special trip to the College World Series or golfing with buddies, round up your crew, split the cost, and fly private. Also, ask about the Jet card. Visit jetnwa.com. That's Jet with 2 T's.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly.
Sleep is probably God's gift of medicine that we really don't utilize enough. If you have obstructive sleep apnea, it needs to be treated. There are some potential surgical solutions that can help you that actually work today.
Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better.
Hey, give us a call, 479-755-3000, or log on to our website, precedent.com, PRECIDENT. We'd love to help.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
Why don't you just kind of style it up a little bit at the game? Let's get your drip going.
Hey, I got a lot more drip than you think.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
From a pure baseball standpoint, it doesn't need to be a guy. I mean, how often do you have the SEC Player of the Year, and you look at it and you're like, well, if he has a bad day, we got 7 other dudes that can roll, so we're fine. And I think they have that. And there's a lot of places where you look in a lineup and go, that guy's not going to beat us. Well, they got a lot of that guys that you don't want to beat you. And offensively, it creates a really hard matchup for anybody they're playing.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
Driving my son to school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, let's turn on the Chuck and Bo Show.
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
National Red Rose Day, Chuck.
I saw that. I'm excited about that. I expect to get one today. I'm sure you do too.
National, for Father's Day.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe a dozen. What do I want for Father's Day? A dozen red roses. That'd be a first. That'd be a first. I mean, anybody's listening.
Last.
That'd be for. By the way, the parking lot story update with the car that was there, in the middle of the night when Edward came in and rolled down the hill and the lady was out there with a hood up and been the better part of the show.
Tank top.
Yeah. It was clearly she was on her way home in the middle of the night and something happened.
Somewhere around 4 o'clock in the morning, her car broke down.
And she had her hood up. She's looking around the whole deal. I mean, it's been an ordeal for 2 hours. We've been watching out the window.
And she was there when Edward drove up?
Yeah, like middle of the night. And so finally, she went and got some gas and put it in, and the car started right up, and she drove off.
Bart speculated it might be the starter or the alternator, but as it turned out, she just ran out of gas.
It's been quite a week.
It really
has. Quite a week on the show here, but it's about to get bigger. Ryan McGee, ESPN, SEC Network, personality, the Marty and McGee Show, kind enough to still make time for the Chuck and Bo Show this morning. And nobody's a bigger fan of Omaha in the College World Series than Ryan. Ryan, how are we doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm ready to get on with it. I was just talking to Bart. I don't go in till I usually go for the second half. So I'll actually get there like a week from right now.
When the big games start.
Yeah, well, but I tell you, the opening weekend. I mean, you guys know opening weekend's the best. And but they always want me there. They don't want me there for the whole 2 weeks. They want me there for the championship. And a few years ago, I convinced them, let me go for the opening weekend instead of the second weekend. And the morning I got on a plane to fly back to Omaha was the morning that NC State popped every COVID test in the state of Nebraska. And I ended up having to cover that from North Carolina. So they were like, nope, from now on you go at the end. So yeah, but I hopefully. Fingers crossed, DVH and the Razorbacks will be there when I get there because I think that most of the baseball people who don't have a dog in this thing, I think they are watching the Razorbacks.
You've written a lot of column stories about college baseball, baseball in general, College World Series. You wrote a book, The Road to Omaha. What is your affinity for college baseball and particularly this event, the College World Series in Omaha?
Well, I love college baseball because I grew up with it. I mean, my father played at East Carolina back in the day. I grew up in Raleigh and in the Triangle, and this is in the 80s. And so my dad and my brother and I would go to games all the time at NC State, at North Carolina, at Wake Forest, at Duke. And, there'd be 10 people there. It'd be us and a couple of scouts and a couple of girlfriends, and that's it. And what we lived for was watching the College World Series on ESPN. And Pete Incaviglia and Will Clark and, all these guys, Roger Clemens, they all seemed like Marvel superheroes. And so it just felt romantic. I mean, how can you not be romantic about baseball, right? That's what everybody always says. And then my dad and I finally got to go together for Father's Day 25 years ago. And it was everything I dreamed it would be and more. And, in fact, Dave Van Horn was there with Nebraska that year. And people were lined up for a literal mile to try and get general admission tickets. And so it was exactly what I wanted it to be. That day I was like, I have to write a book about this. I've never written a book before. I want to. And what I love about it is the great sporting events to me are the ones that you can't separate from their town, right? Indianapolis in the 500, Pasadena in the Rose Bowl, Augusta in the Masters, and that's exactly what Omaha. You can't imagine the College World Series without Omaha, and vice versa. So it's you probably can tell I get really almost emotional about it because it's magic, and there isn't a lot of that left in sports.
Well, I was going to say, every time I've gone up there, I mean, if you're holding on to what you perceive to be the ideal of college sports, I mean, Omaha, Nebraska, the College World Series, I'm not saying it's the last place in college sports where you feel that, but I sure feel it every time I go up there.
It is just it. And I'll just shamelessly plug it. I've got a piece that ran on Sports Center and ran on a special that Kyle Peterson and I did. I posted it on Twitter yesterday. And that's kind of what it taps into, which is, people are still sad that Rosenblatt Stadium was closed. That was what, 12, 13 years ago. And 14 years ago. And so, but there's still pieces of Rosenblatt all around town. And if you go to Stadium View Sports Cards, which is the baseball card shop, which is right across the street from where the stadium was, you still can feel it. And so, to me, it's about the town. And so what they always say, they don't say we made it to the College World Series. They say we made it to Omaha. Mm-hmm. It's the road to Omaha. And so there's just a vibe to it. It's funny, too, because I remember when I started at ESPN 30 years ago as an entry-level production assistant. And, college baseball, was not what it is now. It certainly has never been as popular as, the big league sports or whatever. But when people at ESPN were assigned to Omaha, they never wanted to give the gig up. Would fight to work Omaha more than the NFL because it's fun and there's just a vibe. And when you go to Omaha, after all these years I've gone, it's like a family reunion. You see the people, the ushers, and the guy that runs the ticket office, and the people in the press box, and the people at your favorite steakhouse, and it's like a family reunion, and it's college sports. There aren't a lot of places left where you feel like you're really experiencing college sports the way we all knew it growing up and the way we all want it to be. And that's what Omaha is, even though it's, an NCAA run championship.
Ryan McGee, ESPN, SEC Network, Marty and McGee show with us here this morning. I want to ask you about that, college sports. I was trying to articulate this yesterday, which is, what we love about college sports and what we don't want to lose. And sometimes we don't know. But we don't want to be the NFL in college football, for example. And can't quite put my finger on it, Ryan, but what is it we love about college sports? We love pro sports too, but when you're a college sports fan, and we're navigating all these waters and all this money and all the things that are happening right now, what is it we're trying to protect? Like, if you're a sports fan, a college sports fan, what do you not want to lose here?
To me, it's Saturday. As long as Saturday feels like it's supposed to feel, then I can live with it. But when we start messing with the fabric of what Saturday is, I can deal with all the headlines, and I can deal with the money talk, and I can deal with all those things. But when I get to Saturday afternoon in Fayetteville or Baton Rouge or, the LA Coliseum, I want it to feel like it's always felt. And when you start messing with the fabric of that, and I'm talking about stuff like West Coast teams playing games at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm talking about possibly taking the third Saturday in October away from Alabama and Tennessee. When you start talking about that stuff, look at Texas A&M, right? I mean, for decades, everybody acted like it was fine. It wasn't fine. It was not fine. And then what happens is you grow an entire generation of kids that don't know what that game is. Because now the game's coming back, and it's great, and everybody over a certain age is really excited about it, and everybody under a certain age doesn't get it. And so that's what happens is that when you start to rip your roots out of the ground, that's what the problem is. So the goal is to protect Saturday. If Saturday still feels like it's supposed to, then you're okay. But I'm with you, man. I don't watch the NFL. And I think that's amazing. I follow certain athletes, the guys that I covered in college. I saw Justin Jefferson at the Miami Grand Prix a few weeks ago. I love following him because I love covering him in college. But I don't like buys in the playoffs. And I don't like, 2-minute warnings, and there's a lot of things I don't like about the NFL. Why the hell are we doing that on Saturday? That's the part that drives me crazy. If I wanted to watch the NFL, I would watch the NFL, but I watch college football. And so as long as Saturday feels like Saturday, we're good. But when all this other stuff starts bleeding into, what the experience is like when we get to our tailgate on Saturday afternoon, now that's where the problem is.
Well,
we're getting really, really close.
To your point, the topic on today's show is the news that came out yesterday that the Notre Dame-Arkansas football game. Notre Dame's never played Arkansas, never been to Arkansas to play in football. This is like a historic moment for especially Arkansas. And the game's at 11 a.m. local time.
Yeah.
And, I mean, people were losing our minds.
Yeah, and listen, the reality, too, is if you play in a conference that crosses over Eastern and Central, the 11 a.m. thing is going to be the 11 a.m. thing. But that game, yeah, you're right. I mean, that game is a bigger deal. That's the Lou Bowl, right? That's the Holtz Bowl, and that game should be played. That feels like a bigger deal than that. And that's what I worry about is I want to make sure that the people who are deciding these things, like I keep going back to, I mean, it's a real possibility that Tennessee and Alabama could end up not playing every year. What are we talking about? And the argument I get back is, but Alabama won that game 15 years in a row, whatever. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. When I was in school at Tennessee, I think Tennessee was in the middle of like an 8 or 9 year losing streak to Alabama. It doesn't matter. That doesn't take anything away from it. And so that's a decision or a conversation that's taking place between people who don't get it. And that's what I worry about. I just want to make sure that the people who are determining these things really understand what it is that they're determining. And I understand everybody's got a lot of mouths to feed and everybody's got a lot of people to make happy, and not everyone's going to be happy with everything on their schedule. But again, if you start messing with the fabric of the game day experience, that's where you got problems. And that's where the old guys with the gray hair and the Technicolor coats who pay for everything, even like digital tickets, like those guys, my dad's the smartest guy in the world. You guys know my dad's the coolest guy that ever lived. And he and I have to go through how to use our tickets for our minor league baseball team because it's just you're alienating people, and I just don't get it. And so but I understand that's where it's going, but it doesn't have to be there yet. And so I'm with you. I just want to make sure that the people who are determining these things love it as much as we do.
That's a great point.
And I sometimes I don't know if that's the case.
We got a couple baseball questions. We'll go back to this. We could go on and on. I mean, we could have Ryan on for 3 hours, and we would love every minute.
I identify with the electronic tickets things, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
Well, Chuck, you said.
In Omaha, a couple of years ago when they first went paperless, the big, amazing, impressive, like almost Roman Coliseum entrance to the ballpark, Charles Schwab Field, where the statue is. That's where the sun sets. And no one's tickets would work because the sun was blowing their screen out and their phones were overheating and all that stuff. So anyhow, go on. I'm sorry. I don't want to turn that into a old man yelled at cloud.
No, but it's great.
Cloud. Yeah.
Your point about being in the middle of it and understanding it is like Chuck was talking about during the playoff selection process last year. Like, don't view the games from some swanky hotel suite in whatever town. Go to the games. Like, go see these teams play. Be in it. Be in the mix. Understand the environment, what they're actually playing in. Don't just watch it on TV. But anyhow, all right, let's go to baseball. Two quick questions. First one is, what do you think of this opening game with Arkansas and LSU? And Blake, they're talking about maybe a record crowd.
No, it's funny because, so you guys, I write all the teases and opens for all the games for the TV guys. And I was literally just on the phone with those guys last night, and we were all talking about you can't hype it enough. And everybody is so fired up. And, you have, if you're ranking the most raucous, the most fun atmospheres, not just in college baseball, but in sports. The box at LSU and Arkansas, it's the two most exciting ballparks in college baseball. And it's because of the people who sit in the stand. And they're smart baseball people. I get a lot of those places where it's like, the crowd's fun, but I'm not sure if they even know what's going on. And the Arkansas crowd, they will stand up and lose their mind over a solid sacrifice bunt because they get the game, right? And so now you're taking all those people, you're giving them all day to get lubricated. They'll all be over there at the Jello shot place trying to outshot each other. And now they're going to watch the game at 6 o'clock local. Yeah, it's going to be – the people in Omaha are so excited. You know, the only sadness is that, you know, one of them is going to the loser's bracket at the end of the night, but they're going to be fine. I think what we're getting is we're getting a preview of who's going to have to fight their way out of that group between the two of them to get the championship. Now, that being said, I also kept telling everybody Vanderbilt and North Carolina were really good, and they're both not even in Omaha. So we'll see. But the atmosphere is going to be off the chart.
Can you read the open you wrote to the game to us?
Yeah, I can't yet. Yeah.
Okay.
Right now I'm still fighting with the with my editors on.
Give us the Ryan version that doesn't make it. Like, come back later and tell us the one it should have been.
Basically, just so you know, I basically just said it. Talking about the two greatest atmospheres in college baseball.
There you go. Okay.
And now you picked them up. I think I might have written something about, you know, a Mardi Gras on the Missouri River.
Hey, here we go.
That's what's coming. Yeah.
Now we're talking.
That's great.
I think I might have ended it with somebody, you know, God bless America, somebody passed me a Jello shot. We'll see if I can get that.
We got it out of him. We got most of it out of him. All right, so nobody likes a road trip like you do. So a lot of fans driving from Arkansas or surrounding areas, maybe even listening to us driving from Baton Rouge or somewhere in Louisiana. What's on a good road trip to a baseball game when you're stopping at the convenience store or whatever? What do you have on your road trip?
Well, this feels like an opportune time to say that Buc-ee's scares me. Like Buc-ee's just too much for me. Like I tried to go to Buc-ee's in Nashville last week. It's too much. I'm a quick trip guy. I know where everything is. I like getting me a QT cappuccino. So Marty doesn't like to put any chemicals in his body, which is why, you know, he's built like he is, and which is great. That's why he's cold all the time. He could use just a little bit of fat percentage. And so when we're on a road trip, I remember one time we were driving down to Atlanta for like SEC media days, and I'm driving the truck, and hey man, I got to get coffee. And I pull into the quick trip because I looked at the Starbucks 7 miles. Dude, I'm not driving 7 miles off the interstate to get you, you know, a Starbucks. I go in here and get you a QT cappuccino.
A real cup of coffee.
Yeah, and he's like, but it's got all those chemicals. I go, those chemicals are delicious. I said, and they're also going to keep you awake. So yeah, and you know, we got the old Trapper deal. So I get me some beef jerky and some coffee, which I don't know if that goes together, but that's what I do. And then. But when you get to Omaha, and if you watch the piece that I posted on Twitter, you'll see there's a place called Stadium View Sports Card. And it is an old building that's going to fall in. It's legendary. And Greg Pivovart, his brother Steve, was the historian of the College World Series. And but go see Piv. Piv will give you a free beer. It's the truth. It's not a good beer, but it's free. And you also can, you walk across the street where Rosenblatt Stadium was. There in the zoo parking lot, they've got this amazing little mini ballpark with the original home plate, the foul pole that Warren Marsh wrapped the ball around is still there in the parking lot. And then, the Drover is kind of everyone's go-to steakhouse. It's not downtown. You got to drive a few miles out, but they have a lunchtime whiskey fillet that is so good if you set it on top of your head, your tongue will beat your brains out to get to it.
And that's good. That's good steak.
That's fantastic. That's a great look at everything. Ryan, thanks, man.
Thank you, Ryan.
That was awesome. Appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for making time. Yeah, get that open finished off. That sounds like it's going really well. Ryan McGee, Marty and McGee Show, ESPN personality, writer, SEC Network. It's 8:20, and that was a lot of fun.
Hey, it was a lot of fun. And, hey, Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, I know they're getting ready to have some fun watching the College World Series, too. And, you know, the thing about it is if you're in the market for a new home or if you just think it might be time to sell yours, call them. Make contact with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. They can answer your questions. They've been my partners for a long, long time. Bo's partners. Everyone that comes in contact with them comes away with the same thought, where they all say the same thing. These guys are pros, man. I mean, they got us from start to finish in a hurry. And that's how they do it. They're in Northwest Arkansas, Washington and Benton counties, Fort Smith. They've got a great office up in Branson. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can log on to WeicherGriffin.com.
We're a little bit over our head
Well,
here,
I
but
know.
we're doing the best we can. We're doing the best we can.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
As a play-by-play announcer, my eyes are everything. I need to see every detail on the field to call the game the right way. So when cataracts started affecting my vision, I knew I couldn't wait. I went to Dr. Betts and the team at McDonald Eye Associates. And truthfully, I wish I'd done it years ago. The difference is incredible. The whole experience was professional, easy, and honestly life-changing. If your vision's holding you back, take it from me. Don't put it off any longer. Schedule your appointment with McDonald Eye Associates today.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Hey, it's Bo. And for me, business comes down to working with people I like and can count on. And that's Teamwork Roofing and Construction. They do what they say, they're on time, and when they're done, it's like they were never there and you have a brand new roof. Built with expert craftsmanship and the best materials. When it comes to commercial or residential roofing, get the customer care Teamwork Roofing and Construction offers. Check them out on their Facebook page, Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Built on quality, powered by teamwork.
You know, I want Texas to lose. Yeah, I want them to rot in hell.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Listen up. In the fall, we knew this team could make it to Omaha. I started packing my suitcase a month ago.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oh, these are exciting times now.
You know, every time I hear that, Dave talks about packing his suitcase a month ago. From my years of traveling with them, I mean, you know you're going to the postseason. You really do start, like, setting your clothes out. like a week or two before you hit the road. You pack, you unpack, you repack. Everybody does that. I don't think he was exaggerating as much as you might think.
Do you have a tough time packing? Like choosing what you want to wear, what you want to take on the trip. You're in between. You don't know how you're going to feel when you get there.
Well, it's weather. Yeah. Weather's the whole deal. It might be, I'm going to be up here. It might be, a little cooler here, a little warmer there. That's the big thing.
I'm a horrible decision maker when it comes to packing.
Because like on a baseball trip, for example, like spring baseball trip, well, you could have rain come through. It could be 55 degrees tonight and 85 tomorrow and then some rain and back to 60, and you got to have a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Boy Scout. Got to be prepared.
Got a lot of great texts coming in today.
Yeah, we do.
You see how the negativity shifted after we had Ryan on.
That's just it.
Once we had McGee on, it was like now the vibes are starting to come back.
People are into their vibes. People are into their feels. That's the deal.
Had some jokes. Tell McGee if he gets here on a Saturday afternoon, he'll have missed the Notre Dame game.
I thought he shared your thoughts very well, Bart. Maybe not with the same passion that you did, but he seemed to agree with you.
His point about not losing the fabric of Saturdays was a really good one.
I think it is.
That's a great way to describe it.
Well, when you got a tailgate at 8 in the morning, you've kind of lost the fabric.
Yeah.
When you lose the feel of what it feels like on a Saturday morning to wake up and there's a college football experience to be had that day, all day. When we start losing that.
Well, we don't notice it until it happens to us. Arkansas and Texas lost the third Saturday in October 30 years ago. So, and life went on. So, it's not the end of the world if you lose some things. But he's right in that you can't lose that feel. When I was growing up, the Razorbacks played night games in Little Rock. They kicked off at 7 o'clock. When they played a day game, they played in Fayetteville. Kicked off generally at 1 or 2. There wasn't TV, none of that. You knew the kickoff times before the season started. There wasn't any of this 6 or 6:45. It was 7. The farmers in eastern Arkansas worked the fields in the morning, came to the game at night, got back home, went to church the next morning. There weren't any lights in Fayetteville, so you had to play a day game. All that changed, and it's still okay. But the way you feel about going to the game on Saturday – he's right about that. There's no question.
Things do change, but then when is the breaking point of too much change? Like how many?
Bart, it was Notre Dame at 11.
How many rivalry games can we take away? How many times can we play a really big game at a time of the day?
Money-hungry people are screwing it up.
Well, but
we are as a culture money hungry.
Yeah.
And
we're getting ready to go to a commercial break. So I'm not going to cast stones on that part.
Now, come on, that's not money hungry.
Yeah, that's not greed. That's part of the
there is a cost to doing business.
I understand.
There is a greed in college athletics. There is a disease of more. Everybody just wants more money all the time.
I won't disagree with that.
More. How can we make more money?
How about a raffle? Can we do a raffle?
We need a good raffle.
We need a good raffle for Omaha. We need a raffle for Omaha. What to watch brought to you by Macadoodles. Just north of the state line and in Bella Vista or at Guess Who in Bentonville, where yesterday was Wine Down Wednesday, 15% off every bottle of wine in the store. Great selection. You won't find a better one. And they have wine tasting open to close every day. And on the weekends, they have spirit tasting. You won't find a better selection of anything you want. Beer, craft beer, non-alcoholic beer, zero proof, whatever. They've got all of it, and they can show you exactly where it is. They can help you create your next concoction for your next watch party. Maybe you got something going on this weekend. Father's Day weekend, what a television experience. The College World Series, the U.S. Open, potential carnage to happen throughout the U.S. Open that Bart's excited for but not seeing enough of it yet. He hasn't seen enough carnage this morning. Somebody's 4 under.
Oh, yeah, he hates him.
Yeah, I did just see Rory, though, swing as hard as he could out of the rough and advance the ball 40 yards. So
and you enjoyed that.
I did.
What's the first thing Bart said a moment ago? J.J. Spawn, 4 under through 8. I can't wait to watch him collapse.
He'll shoot 80 tomorrow. It'll be fine.
What are we watching and what time and where?
Well, the U.S. Open's on all day today on USA Network. Coverage
now, that's
underway.
important. Slow down when you say that because that's unusual.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
golf is on the USA Network channel, which means if you don't have YouTube TV and it doesn't immediately just pop up, which it would if you had YouTube TV, when you turn your TV on, you're going to have to go look for it.
USA.
Somewhere around 30-ish, higher number channels, I think.
It just depends on what service you have.
Right. So then it switches over to NBC starting tomorrow afternoon. But USA Network all day today. We also have the broadcast team for the Arkansas LSU game at 6 o'clock on Saturday. Mike Monaco on the call alongside Kyle Peterson, Chris Burke, and Chris Button. Where's our guy Tom Hart?
What?
They do this.
Who's Mike Monaco?
ESPN
Get him out
does
of here.
this. No,
All due
ESPN
respect.
does
Get
this
him out of
every
here.
year.
I need Tom Hart.
They've done this for years. This is pre-Tom Hart. I mean, I can name names of guys who had done college baseball for ESPN all year long, and then they dump them.
Get Tom up there.
They dump them.
I'm going to start a.
I don't know if Tom's working the World Series or not. But
ESPN's
not done as good a job.
No,
as
Tom's not on the crew. Carl Ravitch and Mike Monaco handling play-by-play.
That's ridiculous.
I haven't heard Mike Monaco call a baseball game all year.
I just threw up in my mouth.
That's they
justice
do this every
for Tom,
year.
Hashtag justice for Tom.
They do this every year.
That's a host job.
It is.
No, it is a host job.
I mean, for the fans,
There's
come on.
nobody better than Tom on the call of college baseball. You put Tom and
he's been calling the
Kyle
games all
Peterson
year.
and Chris Burke in the booth, and you've got a great crew for listening to a college baseball game on television.
They've done this for 15 years.
It's disgusting.
They have done
It
this
is
for 15.
disgusting.
Hey, used to Kyle Peterson was the one they bumped.
Yeah.
I mean, used to he was the one that they bumped off.
In favor of Eduardo Perez.
And I like Eduardo Perez.
He'll be there too.
And I like all the guys they have.
Nothing against any of these guys.
No.
Honestly. But come on.
And Mike Monaco's very accomplished at what he does. But Tom Hart, in my opinion, has earned the right to be there. He's earned the right to get that paycheck.
He's also earned the trust of the people who watch the games. And when you turn on, it's like it'd be like taking Brent Musburger back in the day, and you take him. When you see a big college football game, you expect him to be calling it.
Well, he's earned the check, and there's checks involved in this, and
Chuck's
he's earned
looking
the
at
check.
it from a broadcaster's perspective.
Darn right I am.
I love it. What to Watch brought to you by Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, just north of the state line, and guess who in Bentonville? It's 8:34. We've handled it all this morning. There's still a little bit left. For Chuck Barrett, I'm Bo Madden. Good morning. Hey, kids, how about a bagel?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors The Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors The Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
At the Stonebreaker Hotel, we believe in the art of gathering, whether over a thoughtfully prepared meal or a quiet moment on Markham Hill. Start your day with breakfast classics from the all-day menu, served from 7:30 to 1. Savor shareable bites from the bar and lounge menu until 10. And let the dinner menu from 5 to 9 bring familiar flavors with a fresh twist. And for a weekend well spent, how about brunch? Rooted in connection, designed for comfort. Learn more at stonebreakerhotel.com.
I'm amazed at the number of people who think they're smart.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
By the way, those are all gambles. Those are all raffles to some extent. They're all gambles.
Life is one big raffle.
It is.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I called him after. I said, enjoy this moment. Worry about the weekend when you're getting through the enjoyment. If you don't enjoy and everything is a relief, time to retire. Enjoy the wins. Grieve on the losses. I take about 24 hours, 48 on the last game of the season, but you grieve on a loss and you move on. On the wins, you celebrate wins. I've been here, this is my second year, and now I've watched his teams. One of the best in the business at what he does.
That's John Calipari on Dave Van Horn, and enjoying the moment, enjoying the ride to Omaha. And now being in Omaha, this team, Chuck, is everybody talks about how different they are. To me, they're different in this way. They're so ready. They seem so ready for the moment, to embrace the moment, for the moment not to be too big, and to just be them.
I think they know they're good, and I think that's the biggest thing. Look, I've been around lots of teams before that were calm, cool, and collected, but they didn't have as good of players as the other guys, and they lost. Doesn't mean they weren't a good group, didn't mean they weren't together, didn't mean everybody wasn't on the same page. They just weren't as good. This team's got all that, and they're good. They're better than everybody else. And so I think that's the reason they're confident. I think they know they're good.
David's in Searcy. David, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. It's Thursday. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. I just got a couple, 2 or 3 things real quick to say. But first, let me say thank you again. Every morning we look forward to hearing you guys. This is the best entertainment that anybody could ask for, and it is very much appreciated.
Thank you.
I don't know what we did to deserve y'all, but this is really great. We just love y'all to death.
Well, thank you.
Let me say that it's going to be hard for me to watch the game Saturday without feeling like my entire existence. Just depends on whether or not we win this first game.
I hear you.
But I'm going to give it a shot. Back in the day, I could lubricate up, where it wouldn't hurt me as bad. But with young people around, we don't do that anymore. But I told my buddies back during the middle of the season, y'all really need to watch this team because this team can win the College World Series. And, we all knew that after watching them because I challenge anyone to say this lineup we had back in so-and-so was as good as this lineup. No, I will never believe it because we have had lineups with really good hitters, 5 of them. But once you get to the 8 and 9 position, you're looking at outs. You guys remember those lineups. You know what I'm talking about. This is not that way. And with the depth of the bullpen, this team has a chance to win it. And before I go, I will say this. I believe, and I've been doing this for 30 years, like a great man once said, I believe Coach Van Horn will retire if he wins the College World Series. And it will be very well deserved. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, David. Bang. Bang. I'm gone. I know a lot of people think that.
No.
I don't. I have never thought that. Now, and I'm not saying that, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Lots of people have asked about that. And you could sense the relief, just the overwhelming sense of relief in Dave's voice when they won the regional. But I've never for a moment thought he was ready to retire. I mean, guys, look, just because you've reached your early 60s doesn't mean you go out to pasture. It doesn't mean you're looking to retire. It doesn't mean that you don't feel like you have life left. And I've heard people say the same thing about Cal and Coach Pittman and Dave. I mean, these guys aren't done.
I just don't know where it's coming from. Like, can I just say this? I mean, DVH has earned the right to exit on his terms.
Well,
so
sure.
Whenever he wants to do it, like, by all means, if that's what he wanted to do, great. I don't sense any of that. Like, that is so far from what I see from him.
I don't know what he'd do.
But here's what I'd say. I hope to goodness he doesn't. I mean, listen, you don't like this guy's legacy, legend, GOAT, whatever you want to say, there is no better coach in college baseball.
Well, sometimes, too, when a legendary coach hits the latter stages of their career, there's some fading involved. The program fades a little bit. They start using, this guy's going to retire. They start using it against you in recruiting. I've not seen any evidence at all.
They're getting better.
Yeah.
They're getting better every year.
Yeah.
Not only is there no better coach, there's no better fit for Arkansas.
No, you're exactly right. Hey, if your AC's on its last leg or if you can see it coming this summer, time to replace it now. You might want to think about it right now. It is a big investment. There's no doubt about it. But Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric is making it easier than ever to stay cool and save big. $5,800 in total savings right now. That's the bottom line. 0% financing. Payments as low as $125 a month. Don't wait for it to all fall apart. You don't want it to happen on the hottest day of the year. Visit them now. Take care of it today. Log on to gopascal.com.
Look who's on deck.
Oh, my goodness.
Our guy.
All right.
Our guy, Eddie.
I wondered about
it. It's going to be good. That's next. Kids, there's never a good deal good enough with a bad person. Still a bad deal.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, summer's heating up, and Splash Car Wash is keeping your ride looking fresh with a special deal just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one best wash and get 2 free. One for you, one for your spouse, one for a friend, or just keep them all. It's an easy way to stay clean, cool, and cruising all summer long. That's 3 top-tier washes for just $27. Text Splash Car Wash to 22322 to access this exclusive online-only offer.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Pascal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Pascal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Pascal. Professional people, professional service. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric.
If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly.
Sleep is probably God's gift of medicine that we really don't utilize enough. If you have obstructive sleep apnea, it needs to be treated. There are some potential surgical solutions that can help you that actually work today.
Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better.
Hey, give us a call, 479-755-3000, or log on to our website, precedent.com, Precedent. We'd love to help.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
So I spent yesterday, you mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I mean, I think everyone on this team should have the same answer. I want to be remembered as the first team to accomplish the mission, climb the mountain, and bring a trophy back to Fayetteville.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's Zach Root.
Yeah.
On the Hog Pod. It's out now.
Bringing home the trophy.
Ace for the Razorbacks. Eddie's in Clarksville. Eddie, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Got a little late start this morning, but I'd first like to start off, first of all, to wish all the fathers across this state and the whole nation across this country happy Father's Day.
Thank
you. You know, it's a special day. And what my wife asked me, said, honey, what do you want for Father's Day? Well, you know what Eddie from Clarksville wants? I want to win. I want the Tigers of Baton Rouge. Let me tell you something. That's what I want. I said this before. I believe this, the best things in life come from the heart. I'll tell you one thing, but listen, what a great show you know, the best sports show in the state is, no doubt, the Chuck and Bo Show. No doubt about it.
Thank you, Eddie. You're the best caller, too. You're the best caller.
Yes, sir.
And let me say this, gentlemen. You know, I listened to your show this morning. You know, as a Hog fan, I'm going over 5 decades aboard the Hog train. You've heard me say moments in time, blow the whistle, all aboard. I can say this team is all aboard. And their mission, before the even season started, is go to the promised land of college baseball and win the whole thing. And I believe they're going to do it. You know why? Because they're playing for their heart. I think about that young man I shared with you yesterday. I met at Wendy's wearing that razor. They're their heroes, man. You're my hero. And I believe they've united this state. And then there's our coach in a country that deserves a national championship. It's Coach Van Horn. Let me tell you this. As a Hawk fan, I've lived this. You're never going to get the call. You're never going to get the Heisman vote. You're never going to get the prime slot, seldom, because I've lived it. You got to go take it, baby. And let me tell you something. What a billing. Maybe what are we hearing now? The largest crowd in the history of the College World Series. How great is that? On prime stage. I'll tell you what, to showcase what I call the Jubilee. Home Jubilee, Mojo, at the highest. I heard Courtney Mims this the other day. Did you listen to what she said to Mike Irwin? I believe this. She said this. If you can't win with this team, what team could you win with? I mean, it's certainly a loaded roster with hitting, pitching, and they play the best defense of any team at the College World Series, and they're great teams, no doubt about it. You talk about LSU. We just had it as our team. Look at this. We're the highest seed remaining. We had to beat the defending national champions to get out of a super regional. And now game one, not only do you play a team that's playing for their 8th national championship, let me tell you something. If you win this national championship this year, I believe this, of any team that's ever played to win a national championship, I mean, look at that adversity. I'm going back to Tupac Shakur. This is our year, baby. I'm going back. I quoted this one that symbolizes what our nation is built on. You know, we've persevered. It's going similar the rose that grew from the concrete. And it symbolizes this is what our nation is built on. Through obstacles you face in life, even in our own life, you can try and accomplish great things. That came from, and just all men can admire tenacity. And this team has tenacity to win. And that's what's going to be the difference. I'll tell you what, come Saturday, boys, I'm getting pumped. Because I tell you what, I've lived it. I'm aboard the Hawk train. The whistle's blowing. I tell you what, I'll be the
VIP with Jet Aircraft. You skip the TSA lines, skip baggage claim, and fly on your schedule. The plane doesn't leave until you get there. You enjoy a full bar and food service for up to 9 passengers and plenty of room for luggage. Wherever you need to fly to or from, whether it's a special trip to the College World Series or golfing with buddies, round up your crew, split the cost, and fly private. Also, ask about the Jet card. Visit jetnwa.com. That's Jet with 2 T's.
As a play-by-play announcer, my eyes are everything. I need to see every detail on the field to call the game the right way. So when cataracts started affecting my vision, I knew I couldn't wait. I went to Dr. Betts and the team at McDonald Eye Associates.
And truthfully, I wish I'd done it years ago. The difference is incredible. The whole experience was professional, easy, and honestly life-changing. If your vision's holding you back, take it from me. Don't put it off any longer. Schedule your appointment with McDonald Eye Associates today.